Hello dear students, welcome to all. Today we are going to start a new chapter and the name of this chapter is circle. And students, in this lecture we will discuss about introduction to circles and terms related to circle and some theorems related to circles. Okay. So students, without wasting time, let's start today's lecture with chapter outline. Okay, let's discuss about this chapter outline, which topics we will cover in this chapter. First of all, we discuss about introduction of circle, and in introduction we discuss some terms related to circles, and after this we discuss about the properties of chord of a circle. Okay, we discuss some properties of chord of a circles and we discuss some theorems related to chord. Clear? Now, after the chord we discuss about results on angles subtended by arcs. Okay, and we discuss theorems related to angles subtended by arcs. Now, after this, at the last we discuss about what are the cyclic quadrilaterals and what are the properties of cyclic quadrilaterals. Clear? So these are the few topics which will be covered in this chapter circle. Clear? Now, after this chapter outline, let's start the introduction to circle. So first of all, let's discuss about what is the circle. So students, a circle is the locus of a point which moves in a plane in such a way that its distance from a fixed point remains constant. Okay, this is the definition of circle. What is the definition of circle? This is the definition of circle, and students, we can also define a circle such as if we join all the points which are fixed distance from a point, then the path of points is known as circle. For example, if this is a fixed point, let this point is O, and if we join all the points which are this fixed distance x from this point, then this path is known as circle. And we can define it as a circle is the locus of the point. Locus is what? Locus is the path of these all points. Locus is what? Locus is the path of all these points. Okay, moves in a plane such a way that its distance from a fixed point remains constant. This is the fixed point and this distance remains constant. This distance remains constant for each and every point on this path. Clear? Now, after this, the fixed point is called center. This fixed point is known as this fixed point is known as center. It is known as center. Clear? And this constant distance, or we can say that fixed distance, this fixed distance is known as radius of the circle. Radius of the circle. And students, if center of the circle is O and the radius of the circle is R, then we represent circle with center OR by this. What is the meaning of this C bracket OR? It is meaning of this is what? Circle with center O and radius R. Clear? So student, this is the basic introduction to circle. Now, after this, let's discuss some terms related to circles. Now, we are going to start our discussion two terms related to circles, and the first term is what? The first term is radius. As we already discussed about the radius, then what is the radius? A line segment joining the center. It is a line segment which join a center and a point on the circle, and a point on the circle is called its radius. Okay, and it generally denoted by small r. It generally represented by small r. For example, this is a circle and this is a center O, and if we join this, then this is what? This is the radius, and we represent it by small r. Clear? Now the plural of radius is radii. The plural of radius is radii. If we have more than one radius, then we can call it as radii. Okay, now in the figure, OA, OB, OC are the circle. Let this is point A, B, C and D. Then we can say that this OA equals to OB equals to OC equal to OD. These all are what? These all are radius. Clear? So students, now after this radius, let's move to the next term, and the next term is circumference. The next term is what? Circumference. Circumference is what, students? The perimeter of a circle is called circumference. Perimeter of a circle is what? Circumference. If we have this circle, then perimeter of this circle, perimeter means we can say that the complete length of this circle. This circle means if we start from there, and this complete length is what? Circumference. So students, we can write here circumference is equals to, the circumference is equals to 2 pi r. This is the formula for circumference, and here r is what? Here r is radius. Okay, now students, after the circumference, let's move to the next term, and the next term is position of a point with respect to circle. Position of a point with respect to a circle. Students, position of a point with respect to circle, we have three positions with respect to circle. First is inside the circle, on the circle, and the last is outside the circle. Okay, now students, if distance of a point if distance of a point from center is less than radius, then we can say that point is inside the circle. For example, here this point OA and OB, this distance OA and OB, here OA is less than radius r, and OB is also less than r. So we can say that A and B are inside the circle. Here A and B are inside the circle. Clear? Now here on the circle, if points, if distance of a point, if distance of a point, if distance of a point from center, if distance of a point from center is equals to radius, it is equals to radius, that is r, then we can say that the point is on the circle. So here this distance OQ and OR is equals to radius r. Here OQ is equals to OR and both are equals to r. So students, we can say that here Q and R. So Q and R are on the circle. Clear? Now students, if distance of a point from a center is greater than radius, then we can say that points are outside the circle. Clear? Now here this OX, OZ and this OY, OX is greater than R and OZ is also greater than R and OY is also greater than R. So students, X, Y, Z are outside the circle. Clear? So students, this is all about the position of points related to circle, or we can say respect to the circle. Clear? Now students, after this term, let's discuss about the next term, and the next term is interior and exterior of a circle. Students, let's observe this diagram. Here we have a circle and this is the plane. This is what? This is plane, and on the plane we have a circle. So this part is exterior of circle and the part inside the circle is known as interior of the circle. So how we define it? Let's see. The region consisting of all those points, which lies inside the circle is called interior of the circle, and the region consisting of all those points which lies outside the circle is called exterior of the circle. Clear? So students, this is about exterior and interior of the circle. Now after this term, let's move to the next term, and the next term is chord. Next term is what? Chord. Students, this is very important term because in the syllabus of circle of class 9th we have some theorems related to chords. So students, what is the chord? A line segment joining any two points on the circle is known as chord. For example, this is a circle and here P, Q, R, S, A, B all are the chords because these three are what? These three are line segments and they join 2 points on the circle. So now Here PQ, RS and AB are the chords of a circle and the center of this circle is what? O. Clear students? So students, I hope you understand about the chord. Now the next is diameter. What is the diameter? Students, diameter is also a chord. So a chord of circle passing through the center of a circle is called diameter. Okay. In this figure, AOB is the chord which passes through the center O. So this is the diameter. So students, for the circle, we have infinite number of diameters because we have infinite number of chords which are passing through this center O. Okay, so we have infinite number of diameters and the length of all diameter is equal. Clear? Now students, let's discuss about some properties of chords, some properties of diameter. So diameter is the largest chord of a circle. Diameter is what? Diameter is the largest chord of a circle. Students, in the objective examination for 1 marks, this question is frequently asked that which is the largest chord of a circle, then your answer is what? Diameter. Clear? And all diameters of a circle are equal. All diameters of a circle are equal because diameter is a what? Diameter is a chord which passes through the center and we have infinite number of chords which passes through the center. So length of all those chords which are passes through the center are equal and these chords are known as diameter. Clear? So students, now I hope you understand about the chord and diameters. Now after this, let's move to the next, and the next is secant. Next is what? Secant. Now what is the secant? A line which intersect a circle in two distinct points is called a secant of the circle. In this figure, this line L is what? This line L is a secant which cuts the circle in 2 points C and D. So L is what? L is a secant. Now students, the question comes in our mind is that what is the difference between the chord and secant? So difference is what? If we talk about this line segment AB, then this is chord. Chord is what? Chord is a line segment which joins 2 points on the circle. And secant is what? Secant is a line which intersect a circle on 2 parts. So we can say that secant is a line and chord is line segment. Okay, and we can extend secant infinitely. Clear? Now students, after this secant, let's move to the next term, and the next term is tangent. The next term is what? Tangent. What is the tangent, students? A line that intersects the circle in exactly 1 point. Again, tangent is what? Tangent is a line. It is not a line segment. Tangent is what? It is a line. So a line that intersects the circle in exactly 1 point is called tangent of circles. The point at which the tangent intersects the circle is called point of contact. For example, this is a circle with center O and radius R. Okay, so now if we have a line which touch this circle at only this point, let this point is P and this line is what? This line is ST are the points on this line, then we can say that this SPT is tangent of this circle and this P is what? This P is point of contact. This P is what? Point of contact, and this SPT is what? It is It is tangent. It is what? It is tangent. Clear? And students, we study about secants and tangent in class 10th, because in the syllabus of class 10th we have theorems related to secants and theorems. Okay. So in class 9th we study about only arcs and chords. So students, after this let's discuss next term, and the next term is what? It is arc. Okay. Now what is the arc, student? A continuous piece of a circle is called an arc. Now arc is what? Arc is the piece of the circle. Okay. Arc is what? Arc is the piece of circle. Let PQ be any 2 points on a circle with center O. Okay. This is circle O and the center is what? R. O, center is O and the radius is R. And this P and Q are the points on this circle. This P and Q are the points on this circle. Then this circle divides in 2 parts. If we this is P and this is Q, and this is also P and this is also Q. Clear? Now then clearly the whole circle has been divided into 2 pieces if we cut this circle from these 2 points. First point is this and the next point is this. Clear? Now it is what? It is arc PQ, and students, this is the sign of arc. Okay, this is the sign of arc, and this is what? We can represent this as arc QP. This is what? Arc QP. Clear? Now this is minor arc and this is what? This is major arc. So students, let's define what is the minor arc and what is the major arc. So an arc less than 1/2 of the whole circle, an arc which is less than 1/2 of the whole circle is called minor arc. So here this is what? This is minor arc. This is minor arc, and we represent minor arc by this sign PQ, and the sign of this is what? Arc. Now this is what? This is major arc, the arc whose length is greater than 1/2 of the complete length of circle is known as major arc. Major arc. Clear? Now so students, this is all about the arc. So after the arc, the next term is what? The next term is central angle. The next term is what? Central angle. So students, an angle subtended by arc at the center of the circle is called its central angle. So for example, if we have this circle and this is the center O, and let this is the arc PQ. This is arc PQ. Then angle subtended by this arc, then angle subtended by this arc at the center, this angle is known as central angle. So we can say that angle POQ, angle POQ, angle POQ is what? It is central angle. It is central angle. Clear? Now students, degree of measure of an arc. Degree of measure of an arc. What is the meaning of this? Let be an arc of a circle with center O. Then angle POQ is equal to what? Theta. Let this is theta. Then we say that the degree measure of is theta degree. Degree measure is what? Theta degree, and we write it as measure of arc PQ. Measure of arc PQ. Measure of arc PQ. Measure of arc PQ. The measure of angle OPQ, we can represent it as measure of arc PQ, or we can write it as measure of PQ, and this is the sine of this, it is equals to theta. It is equals to what? Theta. And students, if the measure of arc PQ is theta, then we can write the measure of arc QP. Arc QP is what? This is measure of measure arc. Measure arc, then it is equals to what? It is equals to 360 minus theta. It is equals to 360 minus theta, because degree of the circle is what? The degree of the circle is 360 degree. It is when we move around this around this point, then the complete angle is what? 360 degree. Clear? Now students, after the central angle, let's move to the next term, and the next term is what? This is our next term, congruent arc. Congruent arc, we study about what is the meaning of congruent, and we also study about the congruent triangles, congruent circles. Now when arcs are congruent, let's see. We know about the what is the meaning of congruent. Congruent means equal in shape and equal in size. So two arcs are said to be congruent if they have same degree measure. Okay, so this is the circle, and this is P and Q, and this is A and B. Okay, this is the center of the circle, and this is theta 2 and this is theta 1. So students, we can say that if measure of arc PQ is equals to measure of arc AB, or we can say that angle POQ is equals to angle AOB, then we can say that PQ arc is congruent to AB arc, or we can say that these two arcs are equal. Clear? Now after this, let's move to the next term, and the next term is what? It is semicircle. The next term is what? Semicircle. Students, a diameter divides a circle into two equal arcs. Okay, diameter divides a circle in two equal arcs. Each of these two arcs is called a semicircle. So the degree measure of semicircle is what? 180 degree. Students, this is the circle, and this is AC is what? AC is diameter. This is what? This is diameter, and it divides the circle in two parts, that is ABC, arc ABC and arc ADC. These two arcs are what? These are the semicircles, and this is what? The angle, this angle is 180 degree. Clear? Now students, this is about the semicircle. Now after the semicircle, let's move to the next term, and the next term is congruent circles. Okay, next term is congruent circles, and we know about the congruent circles. If radius of the true circle is equal, then the circles are congruent. Clear? Now after the congruent circle, the next term is concentric circles. Next term is what? Concentric circles. So students, which circles are concentrics? If circles having same center but different radii are called concentric circles. So students, in this diagram we have this center O, but radius are different for all the circles. I represent it by R1, R2 and R3. Radius are different, but center is same. So we can say that these circles are concentric circles. Clear? So students, I hope you understand about these all terms. Now after this term, let's move to the next term, and the next term is what? Cocyclic points. What are the cocyclic points? The points which lie on the circumference. The points which lie on the circumference of the circle are called cocyclic points. And here it is important that, say, on the same circle which lies on the circumference of the same circle, then these points are known as cocyclic points. Clear? So students, here if we observe A, B, C and D, all are lies on this circle, so we can say that these are the cocyclic points. Cocyclic points. Clear? So now students, after this term, let's move to the next term, and the next is segment. The next term is what? Segment. So students, what are the segments? A segment is a part of circular region. Segment is what? Segment is a part of circular region bounded by an arc and a chord. Bounded by an arc and the chord. Here this is a chord. Here in this diagram we have, this is the chord. Okay, this is the chord, and this is what? This is arc. So region bounded by this chord and arc is known as segment. Clear? Now, including the arc and the chord, the segment containing the minor arc is called minor segment, and which other one is called major segment. If it contains minor arc, then the segment is known as minor segment, and if segment contains major arc, then it is known as major segment. So we can say that we have two segments, minor segment and major segment. Clear? Now, the center of the circle lies in the major segment. So we can say that center is lies on major segment, or by observing the diagram we can say that if center lie in the any one of the segment, then this segment is major segment. Clear? Now, so students, after this, what is alternate segments of circle? The minor and major segments of a circles are called alternate segments of each circles. Clear? So students, I hope you understand about the major and minor segments. Now after these segments, let's move to the next term, and the next term is sector of the circle. The next term is what? Sector. So students, this is also the part of circular region. Sector is also the part of circular region and the part of plane region enclosed by an arc of the circle. It is region enclosed by an arc of a circle and its two bounding radii. So it is the region bounded by arc and two radii. For example, here this OA and OB, these are the radius R1, this is R and R, these two are the radius, and this AB is what? This AB is arc. So this region bounded by two radius and arc is what? It is a sector. Clear? And students, this region OAB is sector of the circle with center O. Clear? And again students, we have two types of sector, minor sector and major sector. So here this is what? This is minor sector. This is what? Minor sector. And the region which consists major arc and two radii are known as major sector. Here. So students, after this sector, the next is what? Let's discuss some important theorems related to chords of the circle. So students, the first theorem is equal chords of a circle subtend equal angle at the center. Okay, so let's understand this theorem. This is a circle, this is center O, and we have two chords A, B, and the other chord is CD. This is other chord, and we, according to theorem, we can say that this angle COD and angle AOB, these two angles are equal. So let's prove this. So what we have here, the given part is what? A circle with center O and radius R. Radius is what? Radius is R. Now and it is also given that two equal chords AB equals to CD. AB and CD are two equal chords. So now we have to prove that angle AOB is equals to angle COD. Angle AOB is equals to angle COD. We have to prove these two angles are equal, or we can say that we have to prove these two central angles are equal. Now let's start the proof. In triangle AOB and in triangle COD, in these two triangles, here students, this AO equals to radius R, because this is radius, this is also radius, and this is also radius. So we can say that AO equals to CO and AB equals to CD. AB equals to CD, it is given. And why these are equals? Because these are the radius and it is given part. Chords are equal, and OB, or we can say BO equal to DO. Okay, these two are also radius. So students, we can say that by side congruency criteria, by side congruency criteria, these triangles, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. Okay, now students, if these two triangles are congruent, then by CPCT corresponding parts of two congruent triangles are equal. So we can say that angle AOB is equals to angle COD. So students, we prove that if two chords are equal, then they subtends equal angle at the center. Clear? So now student, after this theorem, let's discuss the converse of this theorem. Okay, converse of this theorem is also true. So what is the converse of this theorem? If the angle subtended by the chords, if the angles subtended by the chords of circle at the center are equal, then the chords are also equal. So let's understand this. This is the circle with center O, and let this is chord AB, and this is angle AOB, and this is chord CD, and it is given that if this angle and this angle is equal, So it is given that we also prove this converse. It is given that in a circle with radius center O and radius r, angle AOB equals to angle COD. Okay, then we have to prove that chord AB is equals to CD. Chord AB is equals to chord CD. So let's start the proof. Students, in triangle AOB, in triangle AOB and triangle COD. In these two triangles, AO equals to CO and OB equals to OD. These two pairs are of radius, and angle AOB equals to angle COD. This is given. Now, by side angle side congruency criteria, by side angle side congruency criteria, by side angle side congruency criteria, triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. Now again students, if these two triangles are congruent, then by CPCT we can say that AB is equals to CD. AB is equals to what? It is equals to CD. Clear? So students, I hope you understand these two theorems. One is theorem that is, if two chords are equal, then angle subtended at center is also equal. And the second is converse of this theorem. If central angle is equal, then chords are also equal. Now, after this, let's move to the next theorem. And the next theorem is what? This is the next theorem here. And the next is what? The perpendicular from the center of the circle to the chord bisect the chord. Okay, this is also very important theorem students. To solve the questions, this theorem and the previous theorems are very important. So what is this theorem? Let's understand with this. We have a chord AB, and from the center O we have to draw a perpendicular. Let this OC is perpendicular. So according to this theorem, AC is equal to BC. So students, let's prove this, how these two are equal. So it is given that a circle with center O and radius r, clear? Now, and students, this is also given that OC is perpendicular on AB. OC is perpendicular on AB. Clear? Now, we have to prove that. What we have to prove here? AC is equals to BC. AC is equals to BC. Clear? Then let's start the proof. Students, let's join AO and OB. So it is a part of construction. So let's note down it. Construction. Join A and B to O. Clear? Now in triangle AOC and AOB, AOC and BOC, triangle AOC and BOC, triangle BOC. Okay, in these two triangles, this AO is equals to radius and OB is equals to also radius. So we can say that AO is equals to OB. It is equals to OB. Both are radius. Clear? Now this is perpendicular. So we can say that angle ACO equals to angle BCO. Angle BCO, this is 90 degree, and CO is common. CO is common. So students, now by which criteria these two triangles are congruent? Let's see. Here this is right angle, this is hypotenuse, and this is side. So we can say that by right hypotenuse side, or we can say that by RHS, congruency criteria by RHS congruency criteria, these two triangles, triangle AOC is congruent to triangle BOC are congruent. Now if these two are congruent, then we can say that by CPCT corresponding parts are equal. So we can say that AC is equals to BC. AC is equals to BC. Clear? And students, converse of this theorem is also true. Now let's discuss what is the converse of this theorem. In the previous theorem, we discussed that on the chord, this is the chord and this is the center. If we draw perpendicular, then this chord is bisected by this line segment. Now converse is what? If we draw a line segment from a center, and if AC is equals to BC, if AC is equals to BC and OC is from center, that this is line from the center to the chord, then we can say that OC is perpendicular on AB. We can say that OC is perpendicular on AB. And students, we can also prove this by using the congruency concept. By joining this A to O and O to B, these two smaller triangles are congruent to each other, then this angle and this angle is equal. And if these two angles are equal, then sum of these two angles is 180 degree. So each angle is equals to 90. Then we can say that OC is perpendicular on AB. Clear? So now students, I hope you understand about all the terms which are related to circle, and you understand about the theorems which are related to chords. So students, now we have to finish today's class here, and we will meet again in next class and discuss some interesting questions on theorems related to chords. So thank you and have a nice day.